afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to this August 18th work session of the Carroll County Board of Education. We'd love to thank all of our visitors for being here. We got some great presenters, so welcome to all of our visitors. And at this time, if you would join me as we rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, as we start off today, I would invite us to student achievement with Dr. Jessica Ainsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller and members of the board, my first item is our school improvement update. We had our summer board advance, and I presented our achievement data. That is available for you in eBoard. But behind the numbers are really what our principals are doing every day. So 3 principals are here with us this evening. Ms. Heather Harp with Whitesburg Elementary, Mr. Scott Long with Bay Springs Middle, and Jeff Bryant with Bowden High, and they'll share some information with our board. Heather?
Good evening, and thank y'all so much. I'm super honored to stand here tonight and represent our elementary principals as I share some of the pieces that have led to the success that we have seen throughout this past year. I'm a big believer in knowing thy impact, those words of John Hattie, so it's really important for us to really name what we've done that has led to that. First off, being with our differentiated phonics, this is a time set aside for our students that are really struggling 3-5 to really grasp those phonics skills that were taught pre-K through second. And this is part of our year 2 implementation of our science of reading. This time is set aside for our extended learning time. And so it's that time, some part of the day, that we are giving those students exactly what they need, whether that's differentiated phonics, they're reading on grade level, or we're trying to address and extend, fill some of those gaps that they have had. In addition to that, we have spiraled our ELA and our math for 3-5, and this is just, we know that content is not a one and done. It's not a skill and drill, but it's something that we've got to continue to circle back to ensure that student mastery is at the forefront of that. And so when you think about the common theme and thread throughout all of that, it's this emphasis on repetition and providing each of our students exactly what they need regardless of their learning. So whether that is a student that can master it after hearing it twice or they need up to 200 times, it's really us being mindful and strategic to make sure that we're giving those students exactly what they need. And lastly, to build the capacity of our staff, we have our master teachers. And so those master teachers are working with those teachers that are new to the grade level or they're new to teaching the field as a whole, and really walking alongside of them and supporting them, being their thinking partner and working with them to ensure that they've got all the tools necessary to complete the task at hand. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Long for our middle school.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Well, they say I don't talk that much, so I have 2 minutes. My problem is when I start talking, I don't stop. So the engagement cycle in oral reading fluency has been a big game changer for us at the middle school level. As you know, after COVID, we saw a decline in reading, writing, and even somehow some of the connection that the students had within the classroom. I often brag about Carroll County as we have taken a bold step to address these problems. When I taught a class using the oral reading fluency, I asked whether if not the oral reading fluency was helping. And some of the kids raised their hand. One kid said that yes, it's helping, that my reading level has jumped 2 grades. Another student raised their hand and said, last year I didn't like reading, but my reading has improved. Those words often remind me of Matthew 21:16 that said that even the youngest among us can speak profound truths. You see, when students see growth, they believe that the work they're doing, and then they try even greater and even harder. And as a result, our results have proven how much it has worked. Middle school's GMAT scores has increased as high as 10%. Now, Bay Springs, our Closing the Gap data went from 38.3 in 2023 to 43.3 in 2024, and now this year it's 95%. So let that sink in, okay? Our CCRPI data also rose from 67.6% to 83.62%. That's a 16-point jump. That's amazing. And obviously, we contributed that to the oral reading fluency and engagement cycle. These gains from the intentional focus of those things have made a powerful impact. I'm grateful for the county's vision in professional learning that supported the teachers in increasing their toolbox of educational learning so that they can contribute that back to the kids. Thank you for your time, and it's now my honor to introduce Mr. Jeff Bryant, Principal of Bowden.
Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to represent our high school principals and share the work that's been done across the county at our high schools. Innovation and advanced opportunities has been a point of emphasis for our high schools over the past year. I'd like to start with showcasing our G+ results, our Graduation Plus, which you all know is a metric that is unique to Carroll County. While we got a great graduation rate, we wanted to be able to measure exactly how prepared our students were post-graduation for that. And in the 1 year we've measured it, if you went back to pre-G+, our graduating class would have been 59%. They would have earned G+ recognition for those things. And the first year of measuring it, it's at 70%. So that's a lot of intentional focus on that. And through that focus, you know, each high school's got ELT, extended learning time, or intervention time. And that's just not to tackle academics, it's to tackle the, post-secondary as far as being employed, being enrolled, and being enlisted. So it goes into all those areas. Across the county, we've added those ELT times that supports EOCs as well as AP and our credential value assessments through CTAE. Our pathway assessments last year increased to 84%, with the state average being 59%. So it's being done all across the board with our high school students. Every school increased AP and dual enrollment offerings with a focus on obtaining college credit. We increased the number of classes taken by 327 classes in 1 year, saving parents money and giving our kids a leg up going in to college. Our students took over 1,740 college-level classes last year. That is unbelievable. Our AP programs across the county, our AP Scholar recognition increased from 107 students last year to 145 students that just graduated. And those students have scored 3 or higher on at least 3 AP exams. Just a lot of tremendous work going on there, focused extended learning time across the board with that. So I want to thank the board for the continued focus and investment in student learning, and I also want to thank Dr. Ainsworth and Mr. Coward for their continued leadership in those areas. This time I'll turn it back over to Dr. Ainsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. What we hope you saw tonight is an opportunity for us to engage in continuous improvement. And Carroll County schools were never satisfied. We want to continue to improve student learning and student learning outcomes. This year our theme is Elevate 2.0, and what you'll see in each of these grade bands is that we will continue to elevate instruction around reading, our middle school performance, and our future-focused opportunities for our high schools. So I want to thank the 3 of them and take a point of privilege to thank Mr. Huckabee and Ms. Shirley in the audience. And with that, Mr. Miller, I'll turn it back over to you.
Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
I'd like to say that those numbers are great. I mean, that improvement is really good. And just keep on reaching.
Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say the same. It was very impressive, and I also love the fact that you can sense an overlap of if it's beyond just your school. You guys, like you've talking about the master teachers or whatever, and using those to help influence others within your own campus. But we didn't really talk a lot about tonight the fact that we know that our schools also help each other, because I hear about the sending teachers and classes to other places and trying to do some overlap and seeing what may be working here and what's working over there and how to pick up and glean those wonderful nuggets. And so that shows the real collaborative effort of our entire system. You know, it's not just me and my school and what I'm trying to accomplish. We're trying to help pull everybody along. So we commend you guys for that. And we got to keep that up. We got to keep spreading the wealth of those type of achievements. And so I think that also lends a lot to what's going on.
Very good.
That just shows that we are one great school system.
Yes.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have the numbers of first-year teachers that are certified in each of the areas, elementary, middle, and high?
Mr. Griffiths?
Say that again, Dr. Brooks?
Oh, okay. Do you have the numbers, a number of the, a total number of the first-year certified teachers in each of the composition, elementary, middle, and high?
I do, but I don't have them with me, and I would have to get those to you,
Okay,
which
you
I'll
don't
be
have to
happy
be
to.
a Boy Scout.
Yes, ma'am.
You can get it to me.
I'll get it to you, I promise.
Okay. I get that, but I'm a visual person,
Yeah, just
and I need to see those numbers.
very good.
What qualifies you as a master teacher? That's a wonderful idea.
I'd like to add one thing. I think everything starts with leadership, and certainly we've got great leaders here. You brought that up, Jeff, but we got great leaders in the buildings, and the three of you, and certainly you guys as the directors, executive directors, you're the epitome of that. And I wish everybody could be here, because what you were explaining tonight really is exemplary of all of your cohorts in the other buildings. So if we could, I'd like you to share that with all the principals, because you shared a great story tonight. And I thought about, like Bryant was saying, if you get behind on reading, you're never going to catch up in middle school. And then if you can't get through there, you're never going to get to the part in high school. So it's like passing the baton on. And I think we as a board, I love what you're sharing tonight, because last year we had students sharing about the ELT and the programs where they were bringing the files, and they were actually a big part of that, so we could recognize that tonight. So, we realize it's not just some big magic wand, and it's a lot of hard work by you all and certainly your teachers. And so, for my part and our board, we want to thank you so much for doing all this to make it happen.
Mr. Miller, my next item is the review of our West Georgia Technical College MOU. This is an annual agreement in which we engage in with West Georgia Technical College, and it's to offset any required textbooks or other expenses, as well as to assist with billing. And we recommend this to be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday, August 21st.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that being on the consent agenda? All right, great. Thank you, Dr. Ainsworth. Okay. At this time, we'll go to organizational excellence and Mr. Glenn whoa, I apologize. Stakeholder engagement, I'm about to skip our superintendent, Mr. Scott Coward, I apologize.
Oh, absolutely don't want to skip stakeholder engagement tonight, because we want to talk a little bit about the opening of the school year. We're on day 12, finishing day 12 now, and it has been an amazing start to the school year, and hats off. And this really goes back to what you said, Mr. Miller. We've got really good people in our schools. We've got good leaders. We've got good teachers. We've got good paraprofessionals, all the people work in our schools, and then all of our support departments. We're so prepared this year. I think the most prepared I've ever seen opening a school in any of the years I've been a part of it anyway. So please, as you see your people, let them know how much you appreciate the work they did because it doesn't happen by accident. I can promise you. There's a lot of intentionality on that. So a lot of things happening. One of the most amazing things I can share with you as a board, we're out in the building, especially those first 2 or 3 days, and I was in 3 elementary schools early first day of school, and I saw instruction happening in classrooms in all three. I don't mean just like get to know you, who are you, that kind. I'm talking about they were working on reading right out of the gate, and so I just was so impressed. But that's just emblematic of what was going on across our district. Give you a little bit of update on where we are enrollment-wise. I did send a chart to you in my email Friday, but to summarize that, comparing day 10 to day 10 last year, which is the best measure we can do at this point in time, we're up 3 students total across the district, day 10 to day 10. That's about what we expected, because between now and our FTE count, we typically will gain about another 100 to 150, 175 kids. So that'll put us up towards where we were at last year in our FTE count. We had projected this would be a little bit of a moderated year in enrollment, and it appears that that's actually going to be the case. Looking at by cluster, the Bowden cluster and the Villarica cluster are up just a little bit right now. The other 3 are down just a tad bit. Again, compared day 10 to day 10. Our grade levels, elementary's up a little bit, high school's up a little bit, middle school's down just a bit. Then I had I listed by school, so you can see each school's up and down. But the bigger takeaway probably is, if you want to really study the data, is to look at the grade level numbers. There's some abnormalities in that we're trying to study deeper. And let me give you an example. If you look at the kindergarten numbers, that is the first time I've ever seen a deficit like that at this time of year over year in our kindergarten numbers in my 15 years here. So that's something we've got to step back and study. I don't have a good answer on that one right now. So we'll be looking at that. 3rd grade, you got a little bit of the same abnormality, so to speak. 7th grade, and then 11th grade. Now, on the flip side of that, you can turn around, and then there's some grade levels that had pretty significant jumps, which basically, in the end, kind of balanced it out. But you take your 1st grade number, it was a big jump. Your 5th grade number was a really big jump. Your 6th grade number was a big jump. Your 9th grade number and your 12th grade number. And so studying those things, trying to understand those patterns a little bit. Around the high schools, we understand those patterns because the in and out at the high school level is much higher than it is at the middle school and elementary level. It's just the nature of those older teenage kids and what they want to do or not want to do sometimes. But when you get to the elementary, again, we're going to spend some time studying that and trying to understand that better. But that's where we're at right now. We're in good shape as far as teacher positions are, and Mr. Griffiths will talk more about that later. We had enough positions where we have not had to add any new teacher positions since school started. Every year we do, we put into our budget enough money where if we have to come in and add 3 or 4 new teachers, we'll have the money to do that. We did not have to, so that's a good thing. We're in good shape there, and I'll be glad to answer any questions about the overall opening of school, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Do you have any questions?
I got a phone call from a father this morning wanting to enroll his 3 children. He had just gotten custody of them, so we should be up 3 more anyway. I did direct him to contact y'all.
So, true story. So one day I had walked downstairs to the registration office. I typically do every day. I said, how we're doing today. They've always got stories to tell. And they said, well, we just enrolled 9 new students. I said, well, good. And they said, no. They said, they're all from the same family. I said, what? They said the mom brought in 9 little ones.
Okay.
I didn't ask any more questions. I just stopped. I probably didn't want to know.
That's not in Villarica.
I just gave him the phone number for this office.
All right.
Mr. Chair, also under stakeholder engagement, Mr. Griffiths and a team of our principals and other leaders have been working with our community on attendance protocols, and he would like to give an update on what that committee has been working on.
Thank you, Mr. Gart. Board, the state gave us the gift of a revising the compulsory attendance law. Um, I do like the changes with it. I do think it adds some teeth to the consequences for parents who choose not to bring their kids to school. And I use that term choose because many times they are choosing not to make them come to school or bring them to school. So there's more teeth in the protocol now and in the state law. I shared it with you. It's in the board policies, but it is an information, a regulation. It's not something that has to be voted on, so it's an information item for tonight. But what I would like to share with you is that this committee is made of Carrollton City, Carroll County Schools, our social workers, our Superior Court judges. Judge Simpson is in charge of appointing the judges in charge of the compulsory attendance enforcement. The city police department, the county sheriff's department, Villa Rica PD are all involved in this, and we meet annually or biannually to discuss the data of attendance of our students within Carroll County, so that the judges have an understanding of if they need to apply pressure or not, really. But in this coming year, the cases will go from juvenile court to state court. I did not realize until I took over student attendance that it's hard to prosecute adults in juvenile court. So our juvenile court was not the appropriate place for these cases to be heard. So we had a meeting with Judge Simpson and Judge Blackman and some others, and it's been moved to state court with Judge Hubbard. And so that way, if a parent needs a public defender, there's a public defender available. If a parent is going to be charged with a misdemeanor of not following the compulsory attendance law, it can be prosecuted in state court, whereas it can't be in juvenile. Hopefully none of our parents fall in that category. We hope we've added many steps within the protocol to give them plenty of opportunities not to go to state court. So we hope that they'll take advantage of those opportunities. I would like to share some of our data so that you would know where our students are attendance-wise. In 2024-25, our chronic absentee rate was 18.6%. Now, what is that? That means that a student missed 10% of the days they were enrolled in school. That could mean they were only enrolled for 30 days and missed 3 days. I want to be clear on that. It's not necessarily a full year of enrollment. The positive with that is we are ahead of the state average. The state average was 19.5%. So there's work to do, though. We would like to be far ahead of that average on chronic absenteeism. But chronic absenteeism is defined also unexcused and excused days. So a child could actually miss, for us, 17.4 excused days, and they're considered chronically absent. Well, 17.4 days is a month of school. It's hard for kids to achieve if they miss a month of school. So the state's looking at those numbers across the state. We had 1,264 students, or 8% of our students, who missed 10 unexcused days last year. 1,264. And then we had 244 students miss 20 unexcused days. So there's a big drop-off between 10 and 20. But within that drop-off are the parents who, or the students who will be determined chronically absent, and ones that we will be needing to send to state court if they can't provide a reason for why their kids are out. So a lot of things happening there. It's a new area for me to look at and be a part of. But I think we've got a pretty good grasp on it, and we're looking forward to seeing what this year holds. So, any questions?
Questions? I did have one question. What would constitute unexcused versus excused? Just a note or a?
So in Carroll County, we actually allow our parents to send in 5 parent notes that would excuse the absences. Sometimes it's very hard to even get the 5 notes from parents, unfortunately. But most of our parents do send in the notes. And so basically they're given a 5 absence head start if they'll take advantage of it. And we do not apply those to our protocol. And for your knowledge, with our protocol, we're looking at unexcused absences. We're not looking at students
Sure.
who, they may miss 2 weeks due to a surgery or something like that. And we don't want to punish kids or parents for that.
Do you think that social workers and then obviously PASS helps us keep that number lower?
It does, and it was interesting looking at the data the way we looked at it, because you heard the significant drop from 10 days to 20 days. It went from 1264 to 244. Well, during that times when we're having our most intensive attendance meetings, and having the parents come in explaining what the consequences are. Do you need help? Do you need resources? What's going on that are causing these absences? And so our social workers become more intensely involved, PASS as well. And so I do think those interventions do help.
Anything else? Thank you, sir. Okay, is that everything, Mr. Coward?
Yes, sir.
All right, now we will go to organizational excellence for Mr. Glenn Harding.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Want to present on our two big projects that were coming to a close. First, I got Mountain Zion High School. Amazing project. I mean, you can just look at these pictures, and the one on the left, the band room, that doesn't even do it justice. I mean, when you drive up and you see that building, it is state of the art inside and outside. To be able to watch some of those kids, I had the opportunity to go out there, open house, and then the band had something, and just seeing the kids enjoy that, the band director, just it's amazing for that community and that to get that built for the growth that's coming as well. I want to thank Neil Ruby for all his work with the school, with the finer details of that fine arts band and chorus room. So that was ready for open house and the first day of school. As you turn to Mount Zion and look at the gym down there at the bottom, it's getting close. The fire marshal is supposed to be on August 21st for the 100% walk. The gym floor is down. Still got to paint the lines on it, but it's down. The sod around the building, the concrete's done. So everything's really coming together really nicely. You can see down at the bottom right here. Again, just an opportunity to provide more opportunities for our teams and during the school day to have that second area for classroom instruction. And then also, you can see right here the greenhouse, excuse me. A lot of work not only going into the greenhouse, but we're going to be doing a lot of work around the areas, the entries, and just really have that looking really nice and sharp for those ag students and teachers. So any questions on Mountain Zion High School? And I guess Mr. Sizemore could probably speak on this, but just the two areas with the two press boxes just allow more room for the media and that functionality. I bet that was nice Friday night.
Well, we'll see this Friday. So we didn't have any media yet.
Okay.
But
it'll be there Friday.
Yeah, we're definitely excited about it.
Awesome.
I think Pepperell, our first scrimmage, they brought some folks. I don't know if they set up in there or went up top, but yeah, we're definitely to that.
There you go. All right, turning our attention to Central Middle School, another project that was ready for open house, and the students coming back. A lot of great energy. I also was able to go to their open house just to walk around. I wanted to see the first impressions of the parents and the kids that were coming back, since most of those were 8th graders, and just seeing that was a good thing. And really, at Central Middle School, not only the new 4 classrooms addition, but the expansion of the cafeteria, just the functionality of that, and being able to get more students in there and not be on top of each other has really benefited the school greatly. And then, of course, the ag building down there at the bottom, working with Lucas. They just finished the floor last week and got it polished, so he should be moving stuff in now. So both of these projects working from a punch list for the most part. But is there any questions on Central Middle School or Mount Zion Middle School? All right, and then finally, just wanted to quick update the board that we continue to work on planning our next two construction projects at Mount Zion Middle School and Temple Middle School. We look forward to hopefully bringing that to the board, the bidding process to the board in October. Moving right along, attached to e-board is our fundraising request and our field trip request. We ask you if y'all would view that and put that on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Is everybody good with that? Okay.
Okay. Lastly, we have a board policy that we'd like to look at, IFBG. It's the Internet Acceptable Use Policy. This is coming out of House Bill 351, and it is really just to make sure that school districts have board policy around the internet use at school. We've had that. We've just made a couple of updates that were in the bill. If I were, and it's attached, but if I drew your attention to it, it was added where it said parents and guardians have the opportunity to consult a school administrator and teachers to discuss appropriate internet access while they're at school. And really, that's something that our parents have always had, but we wanted to make sure it was in the language as well. And then the second part, just under that, is the parents and guardians of current students may formally appeal disciplinary action that results from violation of these. Again, that's something that they could have already done anyway. We just wanted to make sure it was spelled out because it was spelled out in the bill, so we made it match. And then lastly, on the back sheet, we crossed out, it said social media activities are encouraged to take place in classrooms or school office setting as long as the activities do not distract from employees' efficiency in their job. We just felt like since we're providing one-on-one technology, we just took that language out. It doesn't mean that it's not actually true. It's just we didn't want to accentuate that since we are providing those devices. And then lastly, this is basically in addition to the language. The Carroll County School System utilizes content filter on certain sites. Again, we've had that for over 15 years now, but we wanted to spell it out where parents could see it a little clearer, and it matches the bill. So we asked that that sit on the table for this next month, and then bring it back up in September.
Could I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you gotten a lot of complaints about the students not having their cell phones available?
You know, Dr. Brooks, we really hadn't gotten many up here, and I think the reason we haven't maybe is because we had the same policy in Carroll County last year.
Right.
We just kind of noted it in our elementary and middle schools. So we have not gotten many calls up here. Handful.
Any other questions? I would like to mention one thing as we open up the schools. A few years ago, we talked about it in one of our board meetings about the appearance of our schools and how we would like to see it just improve a little bit. I got to say, and I want to talk to a lot of your group and then in the schools. I went to a lot of different schools throughout the summer, and as we started, I think, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, we've improved greatly in that area. So everywhere you go, it seems like we're just a little bit, not that we were bad, we're a little bit crisper. There's more attention to detail, and I think a lot of that is you and your group, Mr. Harding, trying to make sure it's uniform and being able to get out there. So it's much appreciated. I know it's not easy, but I wanted to recognize that. Okay, is that everything from you, sir? Okay. Now, at this time, we'll go to Mrs. Delene Wolf for financial.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. So we are working on our year-end closing procedures for last fiscal year, will be 24-25 or FY25. In eBoard is a draft of the June expenditures and the outstanding purchase orders. It also includes our estimates for our receivables and payables, which we're still in the process of updating those numbers. All of the funds are expected to be within the board-approved budgets for expenditures. For the general fund, we anticipate that both revenues and expenditures will be within 2% of budget. For SPLOS collections in June, those totaled 1.9 million, which is a 3.3% increase. Within the reports, the budget amounts as well as the year-to-date amounts include some reclassifications that were done as a result of instructions received from the DOE the last week of June. There are no changes with respect to the total budget or total expenditures, just a reclassification within the accounting codes. And so later in the agenda, there's also a business item for discussion and possible action to approve an amendment because of those reclassifications. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I do have one.
Yes, ma'am.
With the growth that we are experiencing, will there be an increase at midterm from the state level?
So for right now, the enrollment looks pretty stable versus last year, and so an increase at midterm is usually driven by an increase in enrollment. So we're not, at this point, we're not estimating a significant increase at the midterm.
Oh, okay.
Very good. Anything else? As always, thank you, Ms. Wolf. Great report. We'll go back to Mr. Jared Griffiths for continuous improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. As Mr. Cowart reported earlier, all our positions are filled. All our teaching positions are filled. We may have one parapro position, I'm not sure. But we are 99.999%, if not 100% filled in all our positions. We had a teacher in every classroom on day one, which was a great thing to have. It's been that way the past 2 years, and we hope that trend will continue because our kids need consistency at the beginning of the year. And as Mr. Cowart reported, thankfully we haven't had to go find a new teacher due to overgrowth in an area, and so it's nice to not have that stress and put that stress on our kids or the principals in those schools. So it was a good start to school, and our teachers are working hard. I haven't seen a resignation or anybody that wants to talk about quitting, which is a great thing. So, we're excited for what's happening in our schools. I also like to report that this past Saturday we had 34 new aspiring leaders participate in our kickoff session for our aspiring leaders cohort. And we're excited about this group. We're excited about their potential and look forward to working with them for the next year and a half. We also have our classified leadership cohort that'll start on September 3rd. And it's the Class A leadership that we've talked about in the past. And I think it's our 4th or 5th cohort. We're doing very well with that program and helping our classified folks find leadership roles and grow their leadership in our schools and district positions. So if you, in e-board tonight, hopefully you had a chance to see there's a memorandum of agreement with West Georgia Technical College. It's a request to place early child care education interns in our Carroll County elementary schools. It's no different than the partnership we've had in the past, and we recommend that it's placed on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, sounds good. Excuse me.
Next 3 agenda items are revisions of the board policies that were affected by new or amended laws that I mentioned in the last board meeting or last work session we had in July. There's been no public input that's been received concerning these revisions, and we recommend that policies I, D, E, E, G, GAAA, and GAEB be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday's board meeting.
Those have been laying on the table already, yeah, so.
Yes, sir.
Is everybody good with that? Sounds good.
Okay, next, in order to comply with another new state law, we have an addition that is needed for policy GARH, employee leave and absences. The addition to the existing policy is written in blue in the attached policy in the e-board agenda. It's real short, so I'll read it to you. It's about living and organ donations. Each employee shall be entitled to receive the following leaves of absence without loss of pay. Not more than 7 days for the purpose of bone marrow donation for transplantation, or not more than 30 days for the purpose of organ transplantation. Neither of these will be deducted from an employee's sick leave and shall be included as creditable service for the purpose of determining any retirement or pension benefits.
Good.
So it's a positive thing for any employees who would like to donate bone marrow or an organ to an individual, a transplant recipient, and we strongly encourage people to do that anyway. So the state's made a law, and we need to change our policy. So this policy change needs to sit for 30 days on the table, and then we can address it at our September board meeting.
Very good.
And this concludes my report, Mr. Miller.
Any questions for Mr. Griffiths? I did have one thing, it stood out to me. Several of us got to go to TIP this year, and as always, and I always love the lunch. You know, you're around all the teachers. And I talked to a lot of those teachers, and I think many would echo this comment. And I would ask, there were so many that have great tenures, 10, 15 years. And I asked several, and almost every one of them mentioned a couple of reasons they were coming here. The teachers that they knew that had been in their systems or they knew would tell them about the culture at Carroll County Schools. And that kept coming up. And I thought to myself, what great ambassadors and recruiters are the teachers that come over, and they really do. It's great that our leaders say there's a difference. But when those teachers, they're telling others, I thought that stood out in my mind. I thought they're the ones they're going to listen to. So again, I commend leadership, but then I commend the teachers. I always be talking about culture. I won't get into it. They were talking about the great culture here, and in some cases they were talking about they were leaving. A couple even said toxic type environments, and I'm not going to get into that, but I thought that was worthy mentioning. So great job, keep it up. Anything else? Now we go to, yes, sir, Mr. Hardy.
I apologize. I did have something here I wanted to mention. It wasn't on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Bowden Elementary, in working with the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, we were able to add the additional that we talked about earlier. They were able to fill that position at Bowden Elementary.
That's great. So the SRO is live and well at Bowden Elementary. So kudos to everybody that worked on it, and thankful for the work from Carroll County Sheriffs. That shows their commitment. So I think everybody would say hooray to that. Thank you, Mr. Hardy. At this time, it's time for our public input. I don't see anybody, but if there were, we would have that. Seeing none, I'll move on to business items.
Mr. Chair, we have two business items tonight. The first one was an item that was discussed at the last meeting. We decided to put it off to this meeting, a vote on our annual MOU with Willowbrook. They are of great benefit to our school system, and it's at no expense to the school system. I want to make sure that's really clear. But they provide community-based therapists for every one of our schools. They get involved with crisis intervention for our students. In this past year, they serviced over 399 students through that program at no cost to the school system. So we'd ask the board to approve our annual MOU with Willowbrook as part of the Tanner Health System.
Can I get a motion on that, the board?
Make a motion, we do.
Have a motion?
I'll second.
And a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that's everyone, with one abstention. Yes.
Mr. Chair, the second business item that we have was mentioned earlier by Ms. Wolf in her financial report. It's a budget amendment, but there's no change in dollars. It's all reclassifications inside the documentation that the state has suggested that school systems do. So we would ask that the board approve this reclassification amendment for our budget.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on that? If not, I'd ask for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Coward. Thank you, Board. At this time, we'd like to review the agenda for the August 21st, 2025 board meeting.
Mr. Chair, looking ahead to the board meeting, we've had a couple opportunities, positive opportunities come up that we'd like to add as business items for the agenda Thursday. One would be at Temple High School. We have a special needs student in a wheelchair, permanently in a wheelchair, and there is an access issue. We need to build a handicap ramp that's covered, and it's above the threshold that I can approve without board approval. It's going to be right about $55,000. I can approve up to $50,000 in an emergency situation. So we'd like to bring that. It would be paid for out of Budget Amendment 1 in December, so we've had the money. We know where we'll pay for it, but we want to be able to get it started now so we can get it done for this young lady.
Perfect.
And then the second one is that we want to let you officially approve our bus purchases for this year. In our current budget, you approve some buses out of our general fund. We now have our state dollars, and we can put just a little bit more with that, and we'll be able to buy an additional bus. I believe we'll be able to buy up to 8 buses, I believe it is, Mr. Hardy. So we would ask the board's approval for that Thursday night. So I'd like to add those as business items.
Perfect. Is everybody good with adding those two?
Yeah.
If that's good, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. And that's everyone. Okay, at this time, we would typically go into executive session. We don't have any personnel actions tonight, so unless there's need by the board for discussion, we will not go to executive session. Is everybody okay with that, or do we? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got supper done?
Absolutely. Very good. So at this time, there is no personnel actions. Now I'll go to board member comments.
Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, we need your prayers for the families that were involved in that accident. I understand that one young man is still at Grady, and his mom has posted that he's going to have several surgeries. So we need to pray for those that are involved, the families, and the one who passed away. I did talk with Dr. Badowski, and he was working closely with that family. So it's tragic, but we'll get through it.
I want to thank Dr. Brooks. I was out of town, and she went to the school and checked on that first day, and has been very involved. But also the school and the board, the school system. It is tragic, and we continue to pray for all of our students each and every day.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of the way that not only the school but the community has been dealing with this tragedy. So thank you, Dr. Brooks. Any other comments?
Just reminders to the board members that we do have one board member in the room who has a birthday today and an anniversary today. He's sitting to my left right here, so if you get a chance, maybe wish him a happy birthday before you leave today.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Coward. Thank you. It's been a great day. At this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. I'll consider us adjourned.